Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Hit that subscribe button, and I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Okay, so starting with Arsenal. Arsenal played a 3-4-1-2. In goal they had Lino. At the back they had Monreal, Koscielny and Socrates. In the middle they had Xhaka and Ramsey, and then on the left they had Kolasinac and Maitland-Niles. In the middle, just behind the two forwards, they had Ozil, and then up front Aubameyang and Lacazette. Manchester United, just like normal, they have De Gea in goal. Back four they have Young on the right, Smalling and Lindelof in the middle, and then Luke Shaw on the left. And then four in midfield, they had Dalot on the right, Fred and Matic in the middle, and then Pogba on the left. And up front they had Lukaku and Rashford. If we just take a look at the way that Unai Emery has set up his team with the 3-4-1-2, we can see here Ozil in the middle. His free is unmarked. If I just highlight the space there, this is the space that Emery would have wanted him to be getting into. He's deliberately placed his centre forwards 2 against 2 with the centre backs from United, but also by moving them into these areas here, it's making the two fullbacks also think about their positioning, therefore trying to take up 4 players with 2. Also, the wingers were nice and high, trying again to get in between these two defensive lines from United. So if I just highlight that space there, the idea is that they're not in this position here, but they're actually in the middle again to try and make 2 players thinking about their positioning. Furthermore, by playing with 3 centre backs, United only having 2 centre forwards, in theory they should always be able to play out one side, whether it's on the right or the left. If the United players shift across to the right, all it needs is the Arsenal centre backs just to switch the ball across, and then they can move out of this area here. The good thing about this for Arsenal is when they were able to... The good thing about this system for Arsenal was when they were able to switch out down one side. If Pogba on the left was to jump out, any ball into their winger here, and Shaw's got a problem. If he doesn't get there, then any pass down here into the channel means that, or Lacazette or Aubameyang can make these runs into the channels. Here, forcing out a centre back, and of course forcing the other centre back and the full back have to be aware to shift across, because if not only is Aubameyang or Lacazette going to break into here, but the natural positioning of Ozil behind the midfield line from United means that he can enter relatively free into these areas. Okay, so if we just look now of when Arsenal have got the ball trying to make attacks going into United's half, the 2 Manchester United centre forwards, Lukaku and Rashford, it was their responsibility to block passes coming in to the 2 Arsenal midfielders, Xhaka and Ramsey. Whenever the ball was shifted across to one side, these 2 players would then shift across, preventing passes coming in into their forwards, and therefore forcing Arsenal either to come out wide, where they would hopefully be able to press, or to move back, and then they would jump out and press. It was actually a benefit to United when the Arsenal centre-backs moved out, because then Lukaku and Rashford would be available for any counter-attack, leaving them with a 2 against 2 situation. So whenever there's a counter-attack initiated in these areas here, Manchester United will naturally have 2 forwards left just against the 2 centre-backs from Arsenal. Of course, yes, the 2 midfielders will get back and defend as quickly as possible, but there is a transition period where United can get in behind the 2 centre-backs, and you would fancy, especially on this side, Rashford to be beating anyone from this distance. If you've made it this far, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so you receive all the notifications of our videos when we upload them. Hit that like button as well, and don't forget to leave your comments about the game. Thanks for watching. Okay, so if we have a look at this example, here I'm just going to highlight the back three from Arsenal, and then the two centre midfielders, which the two centre forwards from Manchester United are going to try and block passes coming into them. Now I'm just highlighting the two centre midfielders from Manchester United. Matic, his role in this position is to come and press the nearest midfielder, in this case Aaron Ramsey. Here we can see that Matic is moved in closer towards Aaron Ramsey just in case that ball comes into his feet. The ball is then switched across onto the other side, and Dalot has a decision to make. Does he jump out and press that centre back Monreal, or does he hold and go with Kolasinac? Here we can see the doubt which he's got whether to jump out or go with Kolasinac, and also we can see Young, who's prepared to jump out to Kolasinac as well. Okay, so also when that ball is moved across, the two centre forwards have shifted across, again trying to block those passing lanes into the centre midfielders, and also the other two centre midfielders switch roles. So now Fred is going to jump out into Xhaka, and Matic, he's going to just drop back in with Ozil, and Paul Pogba is going to shift across as well, just in case the ball comes into Aaron Ramsey. Therefore, equalising the numerical inferiority on paper which they have by shifting across. Okay, so by not jumping out to press Monreal and actually dropping back with Socrates, Dalot now is forcing the ball to come back into the centre-back Monreal. Here we can see communication from Matic that Ozil is coming across. He's indicating to Fred that he's going to shift across. Now Fred's going to pick him up. Okay, so here you can see now Fred is attentive to Ozil coming across, and Arsenal are now going to shift the ball across onto the opposite side again. Okay, so this is the moment which I was talking about, when the centre-back is able to push out with the ball. Pogba is then playing as the left-sided midfielder, is going to come out and try and stop him, and that also leaves the two centre-forwards from Manchester United in offensive positions against just two centre-backs. Okay, so they've made that pass into here. They've intercepted the ball, and the ball's going to come straight from Matic into Pogba. All Pogba needs to do is turn and play forward. If he'd have taken a better touch, he would have been able to play himself into this position here, which I've highlighted. Instead, he's taken a poor touch, and that means that he's unable to play that ball in behind there into Rashford, which would leave them 2 against 2, with Lukaku and Rashford against Monreal and Koscielny. Okay, so if Pogba had a better touch and was able to suck in Socrates a bit more, he would have been able to leave the two centre forwards 2 against 2 with the centre backs, or even he could have just played that ball down the channel into Rashford, and it would have been away. It would have been a really good opportunity for Manchester United. So that's how Arsenal were trying to play out, and that's how United were trying to prevent them from playing out and break them on the counter. This is actually from the same play, but I'm using this just to highlight the intelligence of the system which Emery's picked out. Here the ball comes into Xhaka, and look at the positioning of Ozil there, just behind the midfield line for Manchester United. Okay, so the ball comes into Xhaka, he's able to turn and then play a ball into Ozil. And also we're highlighting Ramsey here. He tries to get forward as well to support Ozil. If Ozil takes a touch backwards, Ramsey is then there to move in to take over that place just in behind the Manchester United midfielders. Okay, so when the ball comes in from Xhaka here to Ozil, look at that space. He's got loads of space for him to be able to receive and turn if it's a good pass. It was a poor pass from Xhaka and a poor first touch, but now look at the position of Aaron Ramsey. He's now moved forward into the position where Ozil was, again maintaining that position just behind the Man United midfield, forcing them backwards. Later on in this attack, Ozil then plays a ball into Aubameyang, and Chris Smalling has to come out with him. It's clearly the tactic from Solskjaer that centre-backs have to go with the two forwards. This then sucks Smalling out of position. So when this ball is played into the corner to Kolasinac, he's able to put in a cross for Lacazette, who now is able to get in behind the centre-back and in front of Luke Shaw. Okay, so this is the moment we can see that Lindelof and Luke Shaw are facing up against Lacazette, with that ball being whipped in to that danger area. But remember a few weeks ago, I commented on Manchester United not defending the edge of the box properly. Look at these two midfielders here. Fred giving balance on the edge of the box and Paul Pogba working really hard to get into those defensive positions. Definitely an improvement on defending the edge of the box for Manchester United. Okay, and this was pretty unlucky from Arsenal not to score in the first 2 minutes of the match. This image is taken from a goal kick. You can see here the United players jumping and he's just missed the ball. And I'm highlighting the two centre midfielders from Manchester United and the position of Ozil. Ozil is just in front of that imaginary line in between those two players, meaning that he's got advantage, positional advantage over the two of them to be able to mount a counter-attack. Remember, whilst talking about the tactics from the two systems, I mentioned that the two centre forwards from Arsenal were used to try and occupy the four Manchester United defenders, and with these kind of runs in between centre back and full back, they're able to do that, forcing everyone back and allowing Ozil and Kolasinac a chance to bring the ball out. Okay, so the ball has come into Ozil now. If he was able to take a better first touch and drive forward against the two centre backs, the positioning of the centre forwards would allow him to play a ball through behind the centre backs and put Arsenal in on goal. So there's the tactic from Emery: get Ozil in behind the Manchester United midfield line and in front of that Manchester United back four. Further point here is looking at Manchester United defenders getting back. This wasn't happening a few weeks ago, but now even Pogba is getting back as quickly as possible and to creating a really good defensive system for United. By the time the ball's played into the channel, into Lacazette, look at the amount of Arsenal players in the box. 5 players, not including Lacazette, into the box. That's 6 players in total, leaving just 4 players outside the penalty area. Impressive attacking, but also look at the amount of United defenders who have got back. We've got 8 United players back in the box, and we can also see just on the edge of our picture, Rashford is back as well, defending the edge of the box. During the game, Luke Shaw attacked a lot more down that left-hand side than Ashley Young did on the right, often creating more of a 3-1-4-2 system. Here we can see that he's picked up the position on the left side high up, but by Pogba being inside, he's forcing that right back to look inside to see where he is. By the time he jumps out to press, he's able to pick a pass inside into Pogba, who's going to give the ball back into him. Little 1-2 around, and then they're just going to whip the ball into Lukaku, who unbelievably misses from the 6-yard box. Quite unexplainable how he missed from here. Added to the Lacazette opportunity, which they had before, should probably be 1-1 after the first 8 minutes. This effort from Fred, which hit the post from the edge of the box, was an impressive shot. Lots of bodies, and that swerve just brings it around. Really unlucky not to put United ahead. That's after the first goal from Arsenal. United would feel pretty unlucky after hitting the post when it was 0-0, after hitting the crossbar when it was 0-0, and then again hitting the post when it's 1-0. They'll feel pretty unlucky not to either be leading or drawing so far in the game. Here I'm just highlighting some good work from Manchester United and some work from Fred. Here the ball's passed into Lukaku, and Fred's just going to make this run in behind Ozil at the right moment to prevent Ozil from picking him up, and then driving forward to make a pass into Pogba. Okay, so we can see here at this moment Ozil is busy looking at where the ball is, and he's just going to nip in behind him, cutting out Ozil and cutting out that Arsenal midfield to put Pogba in a dangerous opportunity. Expect a lot better from Ozil, but as he hasn't been playing recently, you can't be surprised at his lack of match awareness. Okay, so there's that pass from Fred into Pogba. So from that pass from Fred, Pogba's able to give the ball into Lukaku, and now Rashford's going to make a driving run into the box. And again, United really unlucky not to make a goal from this. Have to say though that this, for Rashford not to score here, the defending from Socrates is absolutely exceptional. That should be 1-1, but brilliant defending from from Socrates. I'm just using this clip to highlight the adapting system from Manchester United during the game. Here I'm highlighting the three, I'm going to say the back three, because now as he moves forward, Luke Shaw is creating more of a forward midfield as Pogba has moved inside. Matic just sits behind Fred and Pogba, therefore creating a 3-1-4-2 to combat Arsenal's 3-4-1-2. Okay, so I've just highlighted Matic there, sitting behind the middle four, and also the right back, Ashley Young, not driving forward, the same as Luke Shaw.